Rhonda, just confirming you've got Allie and Winny with you.
That I do.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, ladies. I'm going to start compiling questions in our queue, so I'll ask all of our media on the line if you have questions to please raise your digital hand. But Coach, I'll perhaps get you to start by just obviously a very disappointing loss for the team, but a very resilient effort. Maybe perhaps you could share your thoughts with us.
I agree. I mean, that's a good word to say, resilient. No matter what, throughout the game, they kept coming back. We did have some lulls where we kind of got a little sloppy, but each time we kind of rebounded and we didn't quit and never gave up the whole game.
Take questions beginning with Mike Murphy. I'll ask you to unmute. Go ahead.
Tough loss, but obviously a lot to be proud of for the Whitecaps, not just in this game, but this year. Looking at this game, it really felt like the first period went the way you guys would have wanted it to. With Allie, you scoring that big goal and really trying to play Whitecaps hockey. I felt like things were really going your way in the first period. Is that what your general impression was, that it was the strong start you were looking for?
It was a start. I mean, we even came out almost with too much energy and too much excitement that we were a little jittery to start, but then we kind of got in our groove. And like you said, we played Whitecaps hockey, to score first, to get that momentum going was helpful. And I think even going into the second period, we came out strong. We had a couple of really good chances that we didn't capitalize on. And then they started scoring, and that's where we needed to reset, and that's where we kept fighting. But I agree with that statement.
And a quick follow-up, obviously you kind of ended up being a big momentum swing in your favor, but that penalty shot call with Boulier in the crease, it looked like she never really covered the puck, and it was one of those calls where we see another angle of it and the puck's never covered by Boo, and Levier covers it, and you wonder why it ends up as a penalty shot. What explanation did you get from the officials on that one?
When I went up and asked, I looked at them. I said, I hope you're 100% sure that you can't review that. And they said, nope, we're not reviewing it. So to me, that was, our team is kind of a team that battles. So that obviously fired up, and Lev, she does just a phenomenal job, and we trust her. And she kept us in there again, like she usually does. And we, then capitalize, and Allie goes down the ice and scores, and we had the momentum again and had them on their heels, and we just kind of ran out of time.
All right, thanks so much. Appreciate your time as always.
Thanks, Mike. Just to recap for folks with your question, I'll ask you to unmute.
Thank you so much. Allie, I'd like to ask you, biggest takeaways were from this season, thanks to the great reporting by the hockey writers and Dan Rice, who's here on the call. We know that it was an uphill battle for you that the season is done, and what you were able to do in this game in particular in the final.
Yeah, it's been a tumultuous year, to say the least. And coming into the season after I had the surgery in end of July, I didn't think I'd come back. And Winnie and Rhonda can tell you, the first few practices, I was terrified. I'd go out for 10 seconds and I was like, I think I'm going to die. And that's not an exaggeration. That's what I felt like. But, my teammates and everybody still believed in me and encouraged me every single day. And even after the MCL, I was trying as hard as I could to not overdo it, but do as much as I could. And it was frustrating, but having the teammates that I have and the coaches, and knew that they weren't going to give up on me. And, they played phenomenal in Lake Placid. They didn't need me at all. So it was really refreshing. And I've always believed in everybody on this team. And, we get scoring from all three lines. And I think that's what makes us such a strong group. But
thank you, Allie. And Winnie, if you wouldn't mind just looking back on this game, obviously there was a lot of excitement, a lot of drama, right? It's pretty fresh, but are there any things that you think the Whitecaps would have liked to do differently, or, what's your assessment as we're just, a few minutes away from the end of this game?
Yeah, I think Rhonda had said about, we had, the momentum from the first period. We had the momentum going into the second. And if we capitalize and bury a couple of our opportunities, that game is completely different. And we didn't capitalize on those chances. Boston capitalized. And so that's why we were fighting back the rest of the game. And, a credit to our team, like Allie was saying, is that we are a team of fighters. Like, all of these players have been playing through adversity all of our careers. And that's why you continue to just see us in the bubble. fight back from behind. And I think that's just a credit to the character of the players on our team. And we would go to battle with them, and it was just a really fun team. And, you know, for a season that wasn't ideal, we made the best of it.
Thank you, Erica. You mentioned Dan Rice. Maybe you took his question. We'll find out. Go ahead.
The penalties started getting called. My vantage point, and I'm by no means an expert, it seemed like they let a lot of stuff go in the first period. That middle point in the second period with the 5-on-3 just really seemed to change the whole complexion of the game, even though they had tied it. I'd love to hear.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I'd love to hear your reaction to.
After losing the game, you don't want to be that bitter, you know, loser, but it does play a factor, right? When we were starting to get our momentum and we're already killing a penalty, and then a delay penalty is called to make it 5-on-3. Any championship game you watch at any level, and it's a 1-2 goal game, those are determined by power plays. And they capitalize on 2 power plays on us, which you look at the scoreboard at the end of the game, and that is the difference. So, yeah, the whistles were not blown in the first, and unfortunately they started in the second, and it wasn't in our favor.
Great. Thank you all. Great season. I appreciate your time all season. Best of luck.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Next question from Catherine Petrie. Go ahead.
This is a question for anyone. For a lot of little girls out there, this is the first time they've been able to watch a professional women's hockey final. And you're the players and coaches who are setting the standard and paving the way for this next generation of hockey players. I'm just curious, you know, what words of wisdom or advice would you give to all the little girls on the ice tonight?
I would say that there's, you know, if you look at this game, there's a lot of things that happen to make it happen, whether it's, you know, social media, it's cameras, it's referees, it's the players, it's the coaches. There's so many opportunities in this game that you could be a part of to make something special like this happen. And it just doesn't have to be us players, right? It's the whole thing that makes everything go. And I think that's pretty cool that these girls can see, wow, I can do that, or I can, you know, it's achievable. So
Yeah.
you guys have.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's really special. Now this is something that little girls can look to, that Winnie and I, when we were younger, we didn't, and Rhonda too, we didn't have that. We didn't have female women's hockey players on the ice battling for anything. And, you know, now it's there, and, you know, they always say, if you can see it, you can be it. And now, you know, that's exactly what it is. And it was just really special, you know, those little valleys, but you come outside of it and really special things happen. So just don't give up and keep fighting and keep chasing your dreams.
Again.
I love the idea of just battling through adversity, because that's life, right? There's a lot of adversity in life. So I think learning to work hard and work towards a goal is big for girls.
All right. Thank you so much.
Casey Bryant, you can go ahead.
Hey, folks, thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate it. This question is for Winnie. Winnie, for someone who has had as long and as storied a hockey career as you, speaking from experience, how will you look back on the 2021 season, as odd as it was? And does it mean anything extra to you that another year with Jack is under your belt?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, this is a monumental event that we just played in, and, you know, win or lose, it was going to be a game that's in the, you know, record books. It's opportunities for even in USA hockey or anything at that point in time. So I think looking back, it's a special year, and it's a year that's going to grow women's hockey huge. And just having the, you know, NBC and the coverage that you guys give, and keep continuing to like push women's hockey and get it out there to the public and show what great game it is and how many wonderful players play. And I think it's pretty fantastic.
Great. Thank you.
Hi guys, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate you guys taking time, especially after the loss. My question is for Allie Thunstrom. Allie, you kind of drove the bus per se for your team today with both goals. Can you kind of talk about how important team chemistry is in breaking out early, especially in a game like this, as you did to get your team on the board first today?
Yeah, I mean, team chemistry is huge. And even though it was, you know, my name on the score sheet, it certainly wasn't individual efforts at all. And, you know, we had Lev stopping everything and our defense playing great and everybody else battling in the corners to get us in that offensive zone. So I lucked out to be on the score sheet tonight, but I think, that was one thing we kind of said in the locker room after the game was, yeah, it stings. It's really tough. But this year, this team, you hear it on the bench, everybody's just wanting the person next to them to get that goal or to make that big defensive play. We all just really played for each other. And I think that's university type situations. We're not at each other's throats and blaming everybody. We all believe in each other and believe that the person next to us is going to do their job. And, eventually we'll make it count. And so I think it was just a really special group to be a part of this year.
Yeah, and to add to Allie, it's pretty neat when you can have a team of players, you have rookies and veterans, and we're, rolling 3 lines and 60. And it just shows how talented, the coaches could put anyone out there. And it just shows how far the game has come because you couldn't have done that in years past.
Thank you. And quickly for Coach Engerhardt, can you speak about your team's full performance and, what you really liked, especially given that, yesterday could have been a winner go home and, the importance of just, getting this team together, albeit the circumstances this year to, play their hearts out?
It's easy with this group because this is a group of competitors that want to win. Most of us from Minnesota, we have a lot of pride too with being a competitive state. And so I think that's easy for me is now is just kind of getting them ready and focused. And we talked a little bit about being consistent. That's what I kind of needed them to come into the game is to be more consistent. And I think that little aspect is what we needed to work on. And we had those lulls, as you saw, and Boston kind of took advantage of those. And so I think those are areas that we've always needed to work on. But I mean, it's a group of players that love to compete. They're all, and like Winnie was just saying, we have 3 lines that can go out there. I didn't shorten the bench the whole time, so I didn't need to, because our lines, anybody could score at any time with this this group of players that we had. So I was fortunate this year. And just excited at how they never quit, even in the bubble. They were behind multiple times and always came back fighting till the end. They wanted to win, so credits to them.
Thank you very much.
Just a couple more, everyone. Back to you, Mike.
Hey, Coach, just a quick one. Got right back out on the ice and was pivotal for that last-minute goal. I just wanted to check on her status, just because it was one of those plays where it's not often you see someone as tough as on the bench. And of course, Audra being Audra, she's back out there and makes that goal happen. But just want to make sure she was okay.
She is okay. She is strong and a competitor. It was scary. Any check from behind is always scary. So I'm glad she's okay. I think she was just a little shocked at first, right? It's always a little shocking and scary when you get hit from behind like that. But she wanted to win that game. Like I said, we had a group of competitors, so she didn't care. She wanted to get back out there and score a goal.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike. Ladies, Rhonda, Allie, Winnie, thank you very much for your time. I know it's difficult under the circumstances of a challenging loss, but a great game. The professionals that you are and taking our questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for covering us
and
doing everything that you do. We appreciate it.